Hey everyone, I'm Achinandi. So the main intention behind this YouTube channel is I used to attend a lot of meetups and I used to run the meetups in Chennai and Hyderabad as well. So I want to talk to people and I want to share and speak about technology, like how they are using it, so that the knowledge is not being with me, so it can be shared with the whole community, so that everyone can learn about it and they can know their learnings and their things from the speaker itself. So this is our intention behind the YouTube channel Beyond X. So as part of it, so this is our first video. So I'm just today we have a guest called Satyam Soni. So he's my close friend. I met him the last KubeCon Delhi. So before that, we both are LinkedIn friends. So he's a co-organizer of Club Native Delhi. So he's also a CNCF ambassador. He works in Debron. So if you are in India, you know him very well. So yeah, he helped me in various things like how to apply for CNCF ambassador, and he's always been active with the community. So he'll always help for the people. He also gave a talk in the Club Native Sri Lanka. So he helped him. He will be if you are in the CNCF landscape, particularly in India, you know him very well. So I'm so happy to have Satyam Soni, and we are so much grateful to him for accepting our request to be with our first YouTube video. So we are going to discuss about the Google Summer of Code. So you are all might know what is GSoC. So it's a part of Google open source team. So they want people, students from to contribute to the open source community. So they also offer stipends. So happens particularly in the summer. So Satyam is a part of SUSE. He worked there. He worked with a lot of open source community, and I forgot to mention he's a part of Kubernetes release team. So I heard about his experience with the Kubernetes release team. He do a lot of things for the Kubernetes. In the future session, we can also have him like how the complete release team work and things like that. So today we will talk about more on Google Summer of Code, how you can apply and things like that. So before that, over to you, Satyam, and you can just introduce and we can just started our discussion around it.
First of all, thank you, Achinandi, for having me. I'm like honored to be on your podcast, like as a first guest speaker. And I think you have spoken a lot about me. So, yeah,
I
and
think it is small when comparing to you. It is small. I just
no,
forgotten what are the things you did to the community.
I'm honored about the things that you were mentioning, and and what I believe is that you are doing amazing thing, like the initiative behind starting the YouTube channel is that you don't want to keep things limited to yourself, that you are learning. This is very amazing. And as a human being, we all are social, and we need to sort of stay inside a community, and we need to learn and share with each other, learn from others, what they are doing and what they have done, and share what you are learning. Very, very good initiative. And the name of the YouTube channel is like awesome, like Beyond X. Although it sounds like something coming from Elon Musk, but something like beyond Elon Musk, something sort of that. But yeah, the name is very amazing, and the thing that the motive is very amazing. Thanks for having me again. So, little bit of introduction about myself. I am Satyam, and I am a OSS developer at Devtron, and I am the co-organizer of CNCG New Delhi, which is Cloud Native New Delhi. It is a part of CNCF. It is a local chapter backed by CNCF, and I am uh, I am serving as currently as a branch manager shadow for Kubernetes release version 1.32, and previously was the release notes lead for Kubernetes version 1.31, and before that I was serving as a release note shadow, and yeah, that is pretty much about it. And I was the agenda of this call is, I believe, if that it is Google Summer of Code. So I have done Google Summer of Code previously, like in the year 2024 with openSUSE organization. And I'm very glad to speak about my experience and my journey, and how it helps the community, how Google Summer of Code uh, will help my fellow juniors getting into one and contributing to open source. I'm very keen on answering all those questions that you have, Achina.
Yeah, thanks for the introduction, Sony. So we can just go into the question and we can just discuss about the Google Summer of Code. So before that, uh, how people get started with Google Summer of Code. So it's Google Summer of Code is actually for students or professional like us can work with that. So what how people actually get started with the Google Summer of Code?
Yeah, so first of all, Google Summer of Code is for anyone who is beginner to open source. Okay,
Okay.
doesn't matter if
Okay.
you're a student, but if you're a student, you can still apply. And if you're a professional but you have not contributed to open source, then you are eligible to apply for it. The only criteria is that you should be 18 plus years. Okay.
Okay.
It does not matter like which degree you are pursuing, which company, or whatever other things, the other factors that may affect. Okay, there, but the only criteria is that you should be beginner to open source and you should be 18 plus. That is it.
Okay. So another question, following up question to the first one. So I didn't contribute to any open source before that. So will I be a part of Google Summer of Code, or I need to do any prior contribution to any open source software?
Okay, so before that, like you need to understand about how GSoC works. Like what is the basically a timeline of a Google Summer of Code. So uh, Google Summer of Code like gets announced early. I think around November. Okay, so if
Okay.
Google Summer of Code is going to happen in 2025, it gets announced, and usually it gets announced in November itself, but this time it was announced in January. So the program gets announced for the next year, and then the application for the organizations gets open. So organizations do apply for the Google Summer to be the part of Google Summer of Code to Google, and Google evaluate the organizations based on like what sort of licenses they are following and what sort of contributions they are having and how many contributions on something, and what kind of projects they are applying to. Are they beginner friendly, or are they like very tough projects or something sort of that? There are some other fact criteria, some predefined criterias by Google to select the organization. And after 20 to 30 days, Google released the list of selected organizations, which I got just released on 27th. Yeah. And then Google starts the applications for contributors, like the web mentees. Okay, so you can apply for Google Summer of Code as a mentee. So what you have to do is there are multiple organizations, and multiple organizations are having multiple tech stacks. So if you suppose work in the domain of AI and ML, and if you work in the domain of web dev, so there will be separate organizations. You can go to Google Summer of Code website, and you can go to previous programs, or even the selected organizations, and you can just select for the technology that you are currently working with, and the organizations will come, and you can sort of go and select the organizations whatever you need there. Okay, So this is the one thing, and whatever sounds interesting to you would be the right sentence for that. And apart from, and the next thing, big thing is that you have to, once the organization is selected, you can go to you have to go to the meetings. You have to understand like what is the project, and what are the projects that are coming in the Google Summer of Code, and what you will be building. And you have to understand that project, get in touch with the mentors if you are having any sort of questions or any sort of things. So you can get in touch with the mentors, ask them, hey, I was exploring this organization and I saw this, and these are the problems that I see and I do not understand. So you can ask those questions, but just make sure the questions that you're asking are valid questions. Okay, you just don't
Okay.
go there and ask, hey, I want to contribute to Google Summer of Code. How do I get started? This types of mostly these types of questions they prefer to avoid, because there will be hundreds of students that will be going and asking the same questions. Rather, you can go and ask the questions like, hey, I have been exploring this organization for a while now, and this is the project that is coming for Google Summer of Code, and I see I do not understand this part of the project or something. Hey, I have been exploring your whole code base, and I see these are the problems or these are the issues that I can fix, and I need some help with these issues, understanding this or something, understanding the structure or something sort of that, and I need some guidance on that. Then you will, chances are high that you will get the answers from the mentors or the maintainers of that project. Uh, and then you will have to write a Google Summer of Code proposals. The proposal should contain about you, about the project, what is your understanding about the project that you are going to build during the Google Summer of Code, and then uh, like a timeline. So what are you going to do every week? Well, GSoC is a 12-week program, so you have to mention in that proposal, like in every week, what are you going to do, like what you will be learning, how will you be implementing it, since this is a sort of, this is assumed that this is beginner friendly project, so you have to learn a lot and then apply on top of it. Okay, and then you will have uh, midterm evaluations on 45, I think 45 days, not 2.5 months later, when you get selected in the GSoC. So first 30 days will be of your what do we say, like it is a basically contribution period. You get to know with you get to know your mentor and the things and what you will be doing, and he will be explaining to you like how you are going to learning things, and then you will get on to working on it. And after 2.5 months of getting selected, there will be a midterm evaluation, and once you pass the midterm evaluation, you get some sort of a stipend, and then you will be working on the other half of the project. And if you pass the final evaluation, so you will be sort of getting the final stipend. So this is the whole program. And if you somehow like do not will not be able to complete that project in the 12-week timeline, you can also seek for uh, what do we say, you can also seek for some time, like you can get also extension on the project, like you can extend your project to by 2 weeks to if
Okay.
I'm not wrong, 4 weeks. Yeah, so you can get your project extended timeline, and you can complete that project by the end of November as well. So yeah, this is, and sorry, what was your question?
Yeah, so that actually explains my question. So what we are talking about it. So when we are talking about the uh, application process, let's say if take we have a Kubeflow or any project, there are so many project ideas are there. If you take specifically Kubeflow, I am particularly interested this year with Kubeflow because I was just exploring with AML stuff with Kubernetes. So I was just researching about their ideas in terms of AIML. So there are so many project ideas around. They mentioned about 12 project ideas.
Yeah.
So in their Google Summer of Code.
Hmm.
So if I was particularly applying for the specific ideas, see, there are so many people like me are going to apply for the particular project idea.
Yeah.
So how actually they are selected? Like if the project specifically given to me, or we will work within a group. So
Mm,
it was so confusing for me initially.
okay, so one project, a contributor for a project. So only one person will be contributing to one project. Okay.
Oh,
And
okay.
yeah, so like there are some certain projects like where they can seek more than one or two contributors, but usually it happens that they will take one project usually they will take one person for one project. Okay. uh, I think this
Oh,
the
the
question.
decision process is so much hard, Satyam. So there are so many people who are interested in Kubeflow and things like that. But how we can get selected for that? So how you are actually selected for SUSE? So how you approached it? Because if you say it to me, it will be helpful for me and everyone like who is applying for it.
Yeah, so I was exploring the
So,
organizations because in 2023, I guess, yeah, in 2023, I got rejected from Google Summer of
okay.
Code, and my learnings were I had to start early. I started in March, first thing first. So I was already late to the Google Summer of Code. Okay. And the second thing was I was no, I did not select the project based on my skills. I selected the project uh, based on like how easy it is to do that project. Okay. I had this in my mind. Okay, I'll learn it and I'll build it. Okay. So this was the thing. So I didn't get any time to make any prior contributions to the organization, and I did not get much time to like interact with the mentors. People were already there. So, yeah, and somehow I got rejected, and the project that has some technology that I am
And
already
the
aware of
learnings
and I
were
have been
this
working on, so
that
that
I have to start
I can make
early
some
and I have to
contributions to
choose.
it, and the mentor has some sort of faith in me that I'll be able to complete that project in the dedicated span of time. So I started early in December. Okay, I was exploring and I met one of my friend, and he was also a mentee there previously in 2023, and somehow like I got into that organization. I basically connected with the mentors, and I was keen on sharing what are the things that I was learning. And so the project I selected, the SUSE I selected, was because I knew Kubernetes and I wanted to explore ML thing. Okay, I
Okay.
already knew a
Okay.
little bit of ML, and I sort of wanted to explore ML a lot. So that is why I got and I selected SUSE, and then I got introduced to the mentors, and mentors were giving me tasks like hey if you are interested, you can build this project, you can build that project. And I was very interested in building that, and I used to build all those projects, and I used to share alert, hey, I built this project that you shared, and I'm having this problem. How can I fix this? And I learned something new. Do you want to know about it? And they were like, oh yeah, go on, tell me what you have learned. And they sort of uh, adding a lot to my learnings, and they kept on adding, and they kept on helping me. And when the time came that openSUSE got selected as an organization, so it was the time for us to like I think buckle up and start preparing for the applications. So based on our prior contributions that we made to the organizations, how we interacted, we sort of built a proposal and got it review from mentors. So and then we applied for it, and luckily we got not luckily, but it was luck plus hard work, and we got selected. Yeah.
Great, man. So, what's the journey of yourself into the suicide team? So, uh, without accepting, you are just working on it with the suicide, right?
Sorry.
without being selected to SUSE officially, you are working on SUSE and exploring things like that, right?
No, no. So, okay, so this usually happens. People go and what they do uh, is sort of like they go early. Okay, they go very early and
Oh,
they
okay.
see. Yeah, most of the students they go early, very early, because the selection criteria, uh, uh, the criteria to select the mentees are that like how much mentee is capable of doing that. Okay, what are his prior contributions, okay, to the organization. So the more contributions you are having, the more edge you are having. Okay,
Okay, got
so
it.
yes, so usually it happens. Mostly folks go and explore the organizations, start exploring the organizations in December only. Okay, December and January. Yeah.
Okay. So you mentioned that you worked on the SUSE with the ML, things like that. Can you please share your experience on it, like what you added? Or you can just, is there any restriction to talk about it, or you can just talk about what are the things you did there?
No, there's no any restriction to talk about it. So, uh, okay, so there is a project named Edge Analytics Ecosystem, and that project is basically like you have to build an ML model and you have to deploy it. Okay, using the
Okay.
ranch, using the SUSE technologies that involves Rancher. Uh, okay, so you have to
Deploy it on Kubernetes
yeah,
or what
deploy it
you
on
are doing?
Kubernetes using Rancher. Yeah.
Okay.
So you can build models in multiple domain, or you can even work on the LLM sort of things, and you have to deploy it on Kubernetes using Rancher, and you have to use the openSUSE technologies or something, and Longhorn, and you have to use all these technologies. So this is more of a learning project, and uh, you do not have to sort of contribute inside the what do we say contribute in the code base. Okay, so this is a
Okay.
separate project. Yeah.
Okay.
So I built a credit decisioning model, and which basically helps you to decide whether a person is credible to give loans or not. And I deployed it, and there were some instances of it running. And in future, I read a research paper by McKinsey and Company that
Okay.
future edge analytics is going to be like boom in financial sector. It is going to be a boon for the financial sector, because all the things that are there in financial sector, all the data that is there, all the data is sort of stored at one place, and there is a bit latency, okay, to fetch it. And so if you build a model that can run at that edge only, at that particular location only, and fetch the do the work for you, this is very good, this is fast. So yeah, so you can sort of build anything using in any vertical using edge analytics concept. Yeah.
Great, man. So wonderful to hear from you. Like you did it with the Python, right?
Yeah,
Or any language. Okay.
Python.
So you actually deployed it in on their cloud platform, or you just rested
Yeah,
and
I was no, I had to deploy on the KVM that I was provided by SUSE.
RKE, right?
Yeah,
Rancher Kubernetes Engine.
yeah, yeah.
Okay, great. So uh, they accepted the final thing and they integrated with their project, or what is the current
Not,
status of it?
not yet. They had no plans of integrating it, but it was more of like how we are using the SUSE technology, like using multiple SUSE technologies to build one project. So this was more
Okay,
like that. Yeah.
got it. So we talked about like for deploying our models, we are using it on Kubernetes. Okay, and we use Python to build those things. Apart from those two technologies and two frameworks, So we talked about long or from the storage part of Rancher. So apart from those things and all, what you are used and why you integrate those things? Why we need storage here, and especially when
Okay, so it depends. It depends on project to project. So if you are building LLMs, then you might have to store it. Okay, store the data, or you might have to store the chats or something sort of that. Okay, so if your
okay,
model is something sort of that needs to that needs data to get stored, then you will need it. Okay, the long on thing, and not necessarily, but yeah, you have to use all those projects, I mean all
okay,
those
great.
technologies. Yeah.
Okay, so how you get all the data set right?
Yeah.
The
So
how you
okay, so for the data set, you can go to Kaggle, and
okay.
you can get your data, pick the data sets, you can pick multiple data sets, clean it up. Okay, and then you can sort of like build a model on top of it.
I'm so much interested in trying your project, Satyam. Can you please share it with me, and we can just
That's
put
a
it on YouTube link, and we can just test it via K3s or any Kubernetes. So actually, people are thinking about whether Kubernetes is good for the AML workloads and all. So maybe if they can try those things and all, maybe easy for them to see the code and they can just try with it. That's the
Yeah,
thing.
definitely. I'll share it with you.
Yeah, sure. Thanks, Satyam. So these are the things I was just want to ask from your experience. You shared it everything like what is the process and the project you have worked with and why you specifically chosen the openSUSE and the Kubernetes things and what's your next plan? You are applying for again for Google Summer of Code with any projects, or what's your next plan?
No, I am not applying for uh, as a mentee for Google Summer of Code project, because currently I am not having such bandwidth. Yeah.
So you are not applying this year Google Summer of Code.
Yeah, and I believe that, like, if you have done once, then you need to let others do it. Uh,
Yeah, wonderful man. This is what I expected you will tell. Right.
yeah,
So we are so much people oriented people. Like we studied there, we worked well. Why can't we just do it again? So people us like can learn from it. So what idea man. So great to have a person like you and talking about those things. So is there any personal project you working as of now or what?
no, currently, like, I'm not working on anything. I got injured, and I am currently a bit resting now.
Okay.
I'm
So
hoping.
sorry to hear about your injured and you come for the people to share the things what you have heard. So we'll pray with the God and you can just recover soon and we'll see you back as a whole Satyam
Yeah.
and we'll hope you to see in the KCD Chennai as well as in the KubeCon India Hyderabad.
Thank you so much.
Yeah,
Thank you so much. It means a lot to me. And
yeah,
hopefully, like, if things goes well, we'll meet again. And yeah,
yeah. Thanks Satyam. So thanks again for you giving your time and sharing the things you learned. So we are so much grateful for your contribution here. Thanks a lot. So we'll see and we'll connect in the further session.
thank you so much, Chinan Nandi, for having me. As I said earlier, I'm like honored to be on your podcast as a first guest, and like I hope to come here again and again and share what are the things that I'm learning, and serve the community that you are building, and you are doing very nice job. Since the day I met you, I have been consistently seeing your post about what are the things that you are writing blog about, what are the things that you are learning. So this is very good. Keep it up, and
Yeah, thanks.
do the good things that as much as you can do. Yeah.
Yeah, thank you. Thanks for the words, Satyam. So we'll catch you in the further session. Thanks a lot.
Thank you.